Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Cooking with Chef Aaron. Today, we're going to be setting foot in Western Europe as we explore the obscure country of Liechtenstein. Now this country was requested to me by none other than my sister, Sarah Hinnecke. As always, thank you for your request. I'd like to give a big shout out to you. And as always, I hope to receive more requests from other people sometime soon. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Liechtenstein is a very small country in Europe. It's in between Switzerland and Austria, and it's actually the sixth smallest country in the world after Vatican City, Monaco, Nauru, Tuvalu, and San Marino. Liechtenstein ranks sixth place in terms of size. It's the sixth smallest country in the world. Okay, so I'm going to start my review off by talking about the largest city in Liechtenstein, which is called Schalin. And as you can see here, there's really not much to see in this country, but it's actually very picturesque because, as you can see, there's a very nice looking church here. You can also see some nice beautiful mountains behind it, very green in colors, very nice, very tall. They look very nice in appearance. I just like the view of Liechtenstein. Okay, so now I'm going to shift my attention over to the second largest city as well as the capital city of Liechtenstein, which is called Vaduz. And as you can see here, there's somewhat of a nice looking castle here, and it's very medieval in appearance, kind of similar to what you would find in Scotland. Only with Scotland I find it to be slightly more medieval looking, but this one looks very nice as well. And once again you can see all the nice green colors and vegetation, like the grass is very nice and green and the mountains are all nice and green, very tall, very scenic, very picturesque. It's just a very nice looking country. Okay, so now I'm going to shift my attention over to the rural areas of Liechtenstein now to wrap this review up. And as you can see here, the rural areas look very similar to that of Scotland and England because you can see a lot of bright green colors. As you remember when you watched the England episode, you noticed that the vegetation was very green in colors, very bright colored. Remember the England episode? And as you can see here, there's more mountains, similar to what you would find in Scotland. And everything just looks very nice the way it is, though I wouldn't really classify it as one of my favorite countries, given it's such a small country, but it's good. Okay, so overall, I think I would probably have to give the country of Liechtenstein a B. Okay, without further ado, let's move up to my kitchen. I'll show you how to make the Käsnöpfle. Follow me, please. Okay, so in order to make the Käsnöpfle, the ingredients you will need are as follows. We have over here in these two bowls 2 onions that have been thinly sliced and cut into little rings. And in this bowl we have 2 tablespoons of butter. And in this ramekin we have 1/3 cup of shredded fontina cheese. And in this ramekin we have 1/3 cup of shredded Gouda cheese. And in this ramekin we have 1/3 cup of shredded Gruyere cheese. And over here in this bowl we have 4 eggs. In this bowl we have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And in this bowl we have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and 1 cup of milk in this measuring cup. And we're going to use this potato masher to put the batter through to make a little pasta once we've boiled up the water. Okay, so to begin the process, we're going to start by taking our all-purpose flour and transferring it to this big stainless steel bowl. So all this goes in. And to this flour, we are going to add our eggs. And we're also going to add our milk to this mixture. And we also add our salt and pepper. And we're just going to mix this all together until a nice batter is formed. So I'm going to take my whisk and I'm just going to whisk it all around until a nice batter is formed. Okay, so once you've mixed everything together, it should look something like this. Your batter should look something like this. So now we're just going to let this rest for 30 minutes, and in the meantime we're going to caramelize our onions. Okay, so now in this large pan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the burner for it. And to this I'm going to add my butter. Just going to let it all evenly spread out. And to this pan I'm going to add my onions. Okay, so now once my butter is melted, it's time to add the onions now. So here's my onions. First bowl. And here's the second bowl. And we're just going to mix everything together. And once these are golden brown, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so once you've caramelized your onions, they should look something like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the stove off for the onions, and I'm going to start boiling my water. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is in a large pot, I'm going to add some salt to this water right here. Plenty of salt. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the stove. And we're just going to bring this to a boil. Okay, so once your water has been brought to a boil, you just want to reduce it to a simmer now. And we are going to put the batter through the potato masher, and we'll be making a pasta now. So now that we've brought the water to the simmer, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this batter, get a good spoonful of it, and we're going to put it on top of the potato masher. Just kind of spread it all on there evenly. And I'm going to take the back of the spoon, and I'm just going to press it all down, and eventually it'll fall into the water and make little squiggly bits of pasta. You just want to keep repeating this step until all the batter is used up. Okay, so once you've pushed all the batter through the potato masher, it should look something like this. And as you can see, I've made some nice noodles right here. They look very nice, very artistic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole pot of pasta, we're going to strain it through a colander, and we're going to add it to the pan with the onions along with the 3 cheeses. Okay, so now that our pasta is ready, we're going to go back to the onions, and to this we're going to add all of our cheeses, so like this. So this is our fontina. Here is our Gouda. And here's our Gruyere. And we're also going to want to add our noodles that we made earlier as well. Okay, so now it's time to add all the noodles, so they all go in like this. And we're just going to give this a good mix, making sure it's all coated with the onions and the cheese. Okay, and this is what your end product should look like. And afterwards I'm going to do a taste test, and I'll tell you what I think of it. Okay, let's see what I think of this. This is really good. I can taste all the onions and cheese very well. And the noodles are the same consistency as regular macaroni. This is great. Okay, and here is our finished product served on our plates along with a nice tomato salad, and we've also had a pork chop. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next episode.